Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I'm Casey, and today these are the 4 choker style necklaces that I will be making. Most of the parts came from Sam's bead box for the month of July 2022, and I just absolutely love how they came out. Now these are 4 separate necklaces. I just have it set up this way for display. It's not one multi-strand necklace. So these are 4 separate necklaces, and I am super happy with how each one came out. So if you would like to see how each one of these individual necklaces came about, then stay tuned. All right. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off with the tools that I will be using. I'm going to be using 2 sets of chain nose pliers. I will be using my set of cutters, and I will be using my crimping pliers. And I would like to mention my tools. I am a huge fan of these tools. They are very high quality, very well made. And the biggest thing for me is they have adult size grips. A lot of times in stores, you will see that they have, for whatever reason, smaller size tools. And they definitely function. And I'm sure a lot of people use them and they work very well. However, for me, when I found these tools and I saw the difference just a comfortable hold can make, it was just a game changer for me. They are the Casual Comfort tools, and I will have them linked below, along with everything else I used today that did not come from the bead box. And I will also be using 49 strand bead along wire in the color Bright, which is a silver color. And I always get the 100 feet because I use it so much and I go through it so quickly. So the beads that I will be using for this first necklace will be this Shiva Eye Shell Freeform Focal. It is 19 millimeters, and then I will be using these Drook Round Shimmering Aqua beads in Crackle, 8 millimeters, and then I will be using these Drook Round Golden Sands in Crackle, 10 millimeter. And then I will be using these rectangle beads that have kind of the weathered look on the side with that anchor. And then everything else will be from my own stash. I'll be using these 3 millimeter rondelles and this Rolo chain. And then all the findings, crimp covers, wire guardians, crimp tubes, different size jump rings, and lobster clasps. So I have already cut a piece of wire. It's gonna be just over 10 inches. And here is how I started. I'm gonna put on a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian. I'm going to put it through one side, wrap it around and put it through the other. And then I want to make sure that that jump ring is up in the wire guardian and that both ends of the wire go through that crimp tube. And I'm gonna pinch that wire guardian closed with my fingers. And I don't need quite so much of a tail, so I'm going to pull on that wire. And now I want to separate that wire so that it's not overlapping inside the crimp tube. Pull on that, on the longer one. I'm gonna go in with my crimping pliers into that second groove. Give it a good smash. Get that taco shape. Turn it on its side, go into that first groove. Give it another smash. Then I'm gonna go in with that flat part on the end. Give it the final smash so it's nice and snug. And I'm gonna take that crimp cover, put it right over that smashed crimp tube, and flip it up. Go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a gentle smash. Then I'm gonna go front to back on that crimp cover, give it that round shape. And there it is. That's how you start each strand. And now it'll be the order of the beads. So I'm gonna start with my 3mm rondelle. Then I'm gonna pick up an 11/0 seed bead in silver and one of the 8mm rounds. I'll go down to the other end and I'm gonna make sure that tail is tucked in, just like that. And then I'm going to do a back and forth between the 11/0 and the 3mm rondelle, 11/0, and then I'm going to do an anchor bead, but I'm going to have the anchor bead facing this way, where the top of it goes on first. All right, so we're going to repeat this pattern one more time. All right, so here we go. One big difference I want to point out is in this part of the pattern, we started with that 3mm rondelle because the crimp cover kind of acts as our first bead here. So when we repeated that pattern, you need to start with that 11/0 seed bead and then just repeat the rest of it. Here is this side of the design. So now we're going to work on that center component. So we're going to do a similar back and forth with an 11/0 seed bead and a 3mm rondelle, only this time it's the tan one. Just like that. And now we're going to put on one of the, and now we're going to use one of the 10mm crackle beads and then repeat that back and forth with the tan, like that right there. And now we're going to use that large shell, and they're similar on either side, so it doesn't matter which way you put it on. So now we're going to repeat this exact same pattern on the other side. So you're going to have the tan crackle ones first with that back and forth with the seed beads, and then the blue with the blue crackle and the anchors on the outer side. So this exact same pattern, repeat it on this side, go in the opposite direction. All right, so here we go. And we can see I did the exact same thing over here. I've got the anchors with the head and the ring of the anchor facing out, just like I did over here, facing out, and the bottom part facing in. So now we're going to close it off. We're going to use a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian through one side, around, back through the other. And you want to make sure that jump ring is up in the wire guardian. I'm going to go ahead and pinch that closed with my fingers. And then I'm going to put both ends of the wire through that crimp tube. Now I'm going to take that tail, pull it down a little bit, and tuck that through the first couple of beads. Take that tail, pull it until it's nice and snug. You don't want it to be too snug though. You want it to be very flexible or you'll have to restring it. So you definitely want it to be snug, but definitely not too snug. So I'm gonna hang on to that tail, hang on to the beads, go in there with my crimping pliers into that second divot, give it a good smash, get that taco shape, turn it on its side, go into that first divot, give it another smash, then I like to go with that flat part at the end, give it the final smash, nice and snug. I'm gonna hang on to that jump ring, I'm gonna go in with that crimp cover right over the smashed crimp tube, And I'm going to flip it up, go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a gentle smash, then go front to back, give it that round shape. Then I'm going to go in with my cutters as close as I can, and then tuck that into the next bead, just like that. So there is the focal part of the necklace. So now we're going to add the chain. We're going to use the jump rings that are on there. Open the jump ring, go in on that last link, just like that. Then close that jump ring. And then I'm going to use a 4mm jump ring on the opposite last link. And put on a lobster clasp. And then close that jump ring. All right, there we go. Other side. Put the chain on the exact same way. Only difference on this side, obviously you don't need the clasp, you just need a jump ring. So just like that. There you go. And then close that jump ring. And we'll go ahead and close that. All right, so here is this choker style necklace, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, so for this one, the main bead from the bead box is this really awesome leaf bead, and it has that sea meets shore kind of split color vibe to it, where you have kind of the sand color on one side meeting the watercolor of the other side. And I just think these are really fun, really cute. So I'm gonna have in my head a very simple kind of back and forth design and closed off the same way. So here's how we're gonna get started. I'm gonna use 4mm bicones from my own stash in a turquoise and a tan color. And I have already started this one. If you need a reminder, you can always head back to that first strand. So I'm gonna start with a tan bicone, then an 11-0 seed bead, and then because I put the tan bead on there, I'm going to put this leaf tan side first, like that. So then I'm gonna have a seed bead, 11-0 seed bead, turquoise, 11-0 seed bead, just like that. Put that down, and then I'm going to put the blue side first, and then I'll show you. I go down here, make sure that tail is tucked into everything. All right, so here is the pattern. And I'm going to go ahead, since this one starts with a bicone on this side, I'll go ahead and add one more. Got a seed bead, tan, seed bead, tan side first. All right, so here is the pattern, and this is going to be the pattern all the way across. So these leaf beads, whatever color bicone is in the center, that's the side of the leaf that you want to have facing it. So if it's the tan one in the center, I'll have the tan ones on either side facing it. If it's the blue one in the center, I'm gonna have the blue side on either side facing it. Just like this, all the way across with those silver 11-0 seed beads in between. So I'm gonna get this all the way across, and we'll meet back up. All right. So here is the final pattern. As you can see, in between each tan side is a tan bicone. In between each blue side is a blue bicone. So there's the pattern all the way across. And of course, as you can see, I finished it off, same way as the first strand. same strand, and I finished that off the same way as well. So here is the second one. So I'm going to set this one here. Here's the first one. And here is the next one that I made. I used those round Picasso beads, the smaller ones that came in the box, as well as those textured beads. And of course, exact same style, exact same method, different order of beads. This time I used 3mm silver spacer beads out of my own stash, 4mm pearls right here out of my own stash, and then a back and forth. Finish the same way, same style. And here is the last pattern that I made. I used those blue shell beads and the 3mm turquoise rondelles with the 3mm spacers. Same style, same method, closed off the same way. So I'm gonna set these up on my display so we can see them better. All right, so here they are. I am so happy with how they came out. And I know this, the way I have it displayed makes it look like they are different lengths, almost like a multi-strand necklace, but I have them kind of finagled in the back just so that this is how they are displayed. Each one of these is about the same length, between 18 to 18.5 inches. So they are not different lengths. This is just a display. But I am super happy. I love those anchor beads. You know, like I said, I have a thing for anchors, and I knew when I pulled those out that I was going to use those pretty much right away. And I love that giant shell. You know, they just kind of bring me back to when I was in the Navy, and I really like it. And then of course the shells, the blue shells, just a simple back and forth, and it just looks so nice with the leaves. I really like those two-toned leaves. I think they look really nice as well. And then of course the steering wheels and those textured beads. And I only used accent beads from my own stash, like those 3mm rondelles, the bicones, the 4mm pearls. Just those accent beads really helped the beads that came in the box, those focal beads, to just stand out. And I think they look really, really nice. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I love reading your comments. You guys are so, so kind. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.